council meeting. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, first of all, I want to welcome our new members, Robert Joe Stevens, Isaac Chavez, and John, you're fairly new to us. Yeah. Welcome you, and then we'll start off with roll call.
Steve Beardsley,
Present.
Isaac Chavez, John Large,
Present.
Megan Sheets,
Present.
Robert Stevens,
Present.
Clarence Worthen,
Present.
Eric Woods.
Present.
Okay, next on the agenda, we have the minutes from December 11th, 2023 regular meeting.
Move to accept the minutes.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Steve Beardsley,
Aye.
Isaac Chavez, John Large,
Aye.
Megan Sheets,
Aye.
Robert Stevens,
Aye.
Clarence Worthen,
Aye.
Eric Woods.
Aye.
Okay, the minutes pass. Were there any public comments? We didn't have anything. Okay. Next on the agenda, we have ordinance number 24-01 on first reading. So normally on an ordinance on first reading, we have somebody say if they want to read it by title only or in its entirety. And then once that's passed, then that'll be read by the clerk treasurer. And then after that, you say whether you want to pass it on first or first and second. So I don't know if that explained it well enough, but this right now is just to say whether or not we want the title or read in its entirety.
I move we read ordinance 2401 by title only.
I'll second that.
Roll call, please.
Steve Beardsley,
Aye.
Isaac Chavez,
Aye.
John Large,
Aye.
Megan Sheets,
Aye.
Robert Stevens,
Aye.
Clarence Worthen,
Aye.
Eric Woods.
Aye.
Additional appropriation ordinance number 24-01.
Okay, so tonight is first reading on this ordinance. Does anybody have any questions or would like to ask Carol or myself anything on this ordinance? It is to do an additional ordinance for the fire department. When we were going through the process for the budget, it was not put in there for two of the retirees, which is Jeff Dunk and Kevin Catron, are going to be employed at the city for 3 months. We did not put in anywhere for their salary in the budget.
One of them, I believe, has 6 pays and the other one has 8 pays.
Mayor, I'd like to propose that rather than an additional appropriation, there are some excess funds in the fire department on that line item that we could use at this present time for the salaries, and it wouldn't warrant a transfer or an additional appropriation. And we could use those for this purpose, and then as the year progresses, if we needed an additional appropriation, but we do have extra that we hadn't anticipated on, is my rationale.
And then as far as the ARPA funds, they have to be appropriated every year because we did not set aside an additional fund or the appropriations for the ARPA funds correctly. So
Correct.
we have $791,000 in there right now.
Yes. And we could have put those in the budget. We have the choice to either appropriate or budget them, but since we didn't have a clear number during budget season, this was the better option for us.
And that will allow us then to use the ARPA funds throughout the year. But as we make changes to the ARPA funds, we do have to go back and amend that ordinance where we set what they're used for.
So in order to follow Megan's suggestion, do we get a motion to amend this proposed ordinance first?
So, yeah, we would be able to either, we haven't passed it on first reading yet, so we could either put it on first reading and then amend it on second reading, or we could just amend it prior to passing it on first reading, so we could just pass it on first
So we
reading.
need an amendment first, and then we do first reading.
Correct, so
Okay,
you could
I
pass
move-
it as amended.
I move that we amend it to exclude the salary portion and to just approve the ARPA fund portion.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Steve Beardsley.
Aye.
Isaac Chavez.
Aye.
John Large.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Robert Stevens.
Aye.
Clarence Worthen.
Aye.
Eric Woods.
Now I move that we approve ordinance 2401 as amended
I'll second that.
On first reading.
On first reading.
on first reading, yeah.
I'll second that too.
Roll call, please.
Steve Beardsley.
Aye.
Isaac Chavez. John Large.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Robert Stevens.
Aye.
Clarence Worthen.
Aye.
Eric Woods.
Okay, ordinance 24-01 passes on first reading as amended. So then we'll have the public hearing and second reading at the February meeting. Is that correct?
Correct. We'll be
Okay.
advertising that.
Okay, thank you.
Just, and again, now that we're on two readings, procedurally in the future, if we want to do it in both, in one motion, do we have to advertise the public meeting in advance for that to happen?
For an additional appropriation, yes.
Yeah, so in this case, if we wanted to do two readings tonight, we would have had to advertise the public meeting in advance.
Correct.
Correct.
Just procedurally, as we go from
Yes.
3 to 2 meetings,
Yes,
yeah.
for an additional appropriation or any other ordinance that we require a public hearing, we would have to have that public hearing at the same time. We would pass it on first and second.
Okay,
yes.
so we'll have to anticipate if we want to do that,
Correct.
publicizing. Thank you.
So we have to have a public meeting on this next time?
Yes, yes. And it'll be
Yes.
second reading, but it will be the amended version.
Ideally, we'll try to do public hearings on anything necessary on the first reading for additionals, but in this case, we just didn't have enough time to get the advertising done.
And if you did that, then you could go ahead and suspend the rules and do first and second, so,
Trying to understand
yeah,
Yeah.
the new formats.
yeah. Okay, next we have old business, Resolution 23-26, and that's a correction. Do you want to talk to us about that, Carol?
Yes, we passed this resolution for a transfer. It was just part of our normal year-end moving money around to make it work for us better in the budget. And inadvertently, the wrong number was added to the paperwork. The first line was for the Dorners pickleball, and the second line was for the neighborhood center electronic door, which enables them to lock that remotely. The intention was always to do what is in the red on this form. We just typed it wrong on the resolution. So I spoke with Alicia, and she said that we can just do a correction on this, and we'll have it reflected in the minutes. So we don't have to redo the resolution in its entirety.
I'll move to correct resolution 2326. As stated.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Steve Beardsley.
Aye.
Isaac Chavez. John Large.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Robert Stevens.
Aye.
Clarence Worthen.
Aye.
Eric Woods. Thank you.
Okay, next under, unless anyone has any old business, anyone have anything? Okay, new business, election of President Pro Tem.
I move election of Eric Woods as President Pro Tem.
I'll second that.
Roll call, please.
Steve Beardsley.
Aye.
Isaac Chavez.
Aye.
John Large.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Robert Stevens.
Aye.
Clarence Worthen.
Aye.
Eric Woods.
Abstain.
Okay, Eric,
Thank you.
you're
Privilege
President
to
Pro
serve.
Tem. Next, we have the Council-Matic committees, and I did pass out the sheets where I have appointed the different council people to the different committees. We have basically 3 new people this year, so I tried to put you with someone that has been on the council for a little while so that maybe that would help on the committees. How that basically works is department heads from each one of those departments may get a hold of their Council-Matic if they have questions or if they want to maybe have a certain resolution or ordinance that would go before the council, maybe extra funding, that type thing. So they usually get hold of their Council-Matic first before it's brought to the full council. So on finance, I have Megan Sheets, Eric Woods, and Steve Beardsley. Utilities, I have Eric Woods, Clarence Worthen, Robert Stevens. On the police committee, Isaac Chavez, Clarence Worthen, and Robert Stevens. Fire, John Large, Isaac Chavez, and Megan Sheets. Streets and alleys, Megan Sheets, John Large, and Isaac Chavez. Parks Department, Clarence Worthen, Isaac Chavez, and Robert Stevens. Building Services, Steve Beardsley, Robert Stevens, Eric Woods. Annexation, Steve Beardsley, Clarence Worthen, and John Large. And then that contact list is not maybe up to date from what you put on there tonight, but she will have a new one put out,
that
correct? Okay. Does anybody have any questions, concerns, or everybody okay with that? Okay, so next are the ones that, as the council, you appoint people to the different committees. Our first one that we have listed is Partners in Progress. Currently, Eric Woods is the representative for the council.
Does anyone have a burning desire to take that on?
Don't everybody talk at once.
I don't mind remaining.
Okay. Consensus, is that okay by consensus? Everybody okay with that? Okay, City Plan Commission, the council representative is Robert Bogue, and I'm not sure if he's up or not, probably. Okay. Yeah, he's the employee that the council, I believe the council appoints him. So if everybody's good with that, we'll just keep him on there. If we find out that we need to replace him, we can, but I believe he's still okay. Insurance Committee, currently it's Eric Woods and Megan Sheets.
So I would like to step off of that since I took on the RDC. And I had talked previously with Steve Beardsley about replacing me if the council would be so inclined.
Does everybody think?
Are you for that? Yeah. Okay, I'll make that a motion.
Okay. You'll second? Okay, roll call, please.
Steve Beardsley,
Abstain.
Isaac Chavez, John Large,
Aye.
Megan Sheets, Robert Stevens,
Aye.
Clarence Worthen,
Aye.
Eric Woods.
Okay, on the Insurance Committee will be Steve Beardsley and Megan Sheets. Next, Economic Development Commission, that was Mike Bright. And he's no longer on the council, so is there anybody that has any interest in the Economic Development Commission? I think they just meet, I don't even know if they meet once a year. Do you know, Eric? The only time I've seen him meets if something particular comes up.
Yeah, Alicia, don't they meet when we have to declare a blighted area? Is that one of the?
Yeah, I think that's when they meet. But I honestly haven't, since I've been involved, haven't had any interaction with them at all. So in the last year, they haven't met at all. So not very often.
So anybody looking for a line on your resume?
Sounds like my kind of job. I'm good with that.
You want to be on that?
Sure.
Okay. John Large.
On what?
And if they need you, John, they'll let you know, because I think there's something also that sometimes has to be sent to the state, and I can't remember exactly what that was. But it's not a real active committee, but when they need you, so.
Motion for that?
Do we have a motion?
Consensus?
Consensus on that one?
Okay.
Okay. Redevelopment Commission. Joe Palmer is, who is appointed by the council, and also Eric Woods at this time.
So Joe said at a previous council meeting, you remember, that he would like to do another year. And I stepped in for Mike Bright when he left a few months ago. So I'm willing to go ahead and continue the other full year as we previously discussed.
Is everybody good with that by
Sounds good.
consensus? Okay, Joe Palmer and Eric Woods. Solid Waste District, Clarence Worthen.
I'm good with that.
You're good to stay on it? Is everybody good with Clarence? Okay. by consensus, we'll put Clarence back on solid waste. North Central Indiana Regional Planning Council, Clarence Worthen is on as a council representative.
Other people can join me on that too. It's pretty interesting. Right now, we're working on Reedy Grant for $500 million for the state of Indiana. And our 6-county area is trying to get 85 million of that 500 million. So they've been, we've got 2 projects on the top 20 list for $1 million each. So a couple $1 million maybe coming to our county. And that's Reedy 2. Reedy 1, we got some money from that as well. So
The Ready One we're using for Meadowbrook,
Meadowbrook,
for the Meadowbrook. I'm not sure if we had anything else that continued, because some of the things kind of went to the wayside, so.
yeah, we, so, but I am working, trying to get money for city. For, I know we got a couple of county projects on this one, a couple of housing additions possible, well, the, out the interstate, that campground and arena or whatever, that's on there for $1 million. So that looks positive.
Clarence, what's the time commitment on that committee? Is that a monthly meeting?
No, we only have 3 or 4 meetings a year. I'm on the steering committee also, so I got more, but I just got a letter the other day. We have 4 meetings a year for the, so,
You want me
I'd be
to-
interested, yeah, I like,
Okay.
I,
I know that they
I'm
would-
interested in that.
Okay, why don't we go ahead and
but
put
the
John,
mayor can be on there, commissioners can be on there. The more the merrier.
right? Because it's not just the Ready Grant that they work with, it is also other grants that are
Right,
available.
Right.
Yeah.
I understand, okay.
But I know that when it came down to finding the top 20 projects on this one, we had like 80, 90 projects turned in for possibly to ask for matching funds. And they had us all vote for the top 20. Well, Frankfurt, and we only had 2 votes for us, and like other people had 5 and 6 and 7 votes. So we obviously didn't get our votes in the top 20. So
There is a meeting coming up, I forget, do you remember the date?
Thursday?
we have one
This
coming up
Thursday.
this week, I think.
In Kokomo?
I think it's on, tomorrow at 1:30 at Hinks Hall in Kokomo, Ivy Tech Building.
Sure that's not Thursday, Clarence?
I think it's Thursday.
No, I think it's tomorrow. We have another one on Friday where the state is coming up to view our projects that we've trying to get funded. That's on the steering committee. That's on Thursday, the 11th at 5 p.m., I think. But I have to check on that time, but I know it's on Thursday. But,
Okay. to
but I
be a
think the
part-
state's coming up and wanting to go
Part of the
over.
Regional Ready 2.0 discussion with the state Thursday, January 11th at Kokomo.
Where's that? Does it have a time on it?
This was from Shan to me, said, looks like 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. I'm not going to be able to attend
9
that.
a.m.
That's what this says.
all day, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's the only one that I have down.
So Mayor, I did tell Shan that I could stand in for you for half of that.
Okay, thank you.
And then, I don't know, John, in that short of notice, are you able to attend
When
that?
is it, at the 11th?
Yeah,
The
Thursday.
Thursday.
Probably. Let me see.
And I don't know who all's been going. Shan's been going, you've been going, Clarence. Are there county officials going right now?
Just Shannon and I have been pretty much, I think he appointed, I think Russ Casper to be the steering guy, but I think he didn't really want that, so Shan made me the steering person as well, so. Because I went to the meetings. No one else went to the
You got
meetings.
volunteered, right?
I got volunteered.
I can't this Thursday. I can't, okay, I'm sorry. Normally I would, but
But it's worthwhile being in that because our county has gotten several dollars from that organization to help us out with different projects. I know the Crossroads, they'll fill out our Crossroads. And I know Jason's been doing that himself, but they will do that for
Community
us.
crossings.
They will do that for us if we want them to. And they also look for other grants from rural, different, so they will help us with, I've already got our name in for the new fire station, so we're looking at maybe possible grants for that as well.
And we do pay an amount annually
Sure,
to the North
yeah,
Central Conference, so. Okay, does anybody have anything else?
Can you, for next meeting, bring that in a typed out sheet for us? All those additions?
Oh, all those that we just changed? Yeah, I'm going to, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then I think we can also do that and give the new addresses, emails and all that, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Yeah,
The City Plan Commission also is appointed Megan Sheets as a representative off the council too, so I don't know if you want to throw that in the mix or not. So they do too, Robert Bogue and Megan Sheets, who represents the council.
I didn't have you down for there, did I?
Oh, apparently not. But no, I'm a council.
You're the
as a
council
member.
representative of City Plan, yeah.
And Robert is the
Yes.
city employee representative appointed by the council.
Yeah. So I'll add Megan to,
But what if I don't want, no, I'm kidding. I-
sorry, hey, I've already written your name down.
too bad you're it.
No, I
Can't back
I'd love
out
to
now.
stay.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so we have Robert Bogue and Megan on that, okay. And then currently Isaac's on City Plan as my appointment, and then also because of his position on City Plan, he's on BZA.
Yes.
So, right now, I'm still trying to figure out who I'm going to appoint to what and what I'm doing, but he said he'd be willing to do that, so. So, yeah, we'll have that all ready for you next time. Okay. Utility Service Board presentation of the budget. Kent Brewer?
I sent, I've already talked to Megan, her city email wasn't working. So we made hard copies to go over. If there's any questions, some of the new ones I didn't have the email addresses for. Steve and Eric, did yours guys come through email? Yeah. Okay. I sent them out obviously earlier, and then you could look at them, and if you had any questions, we can head over them kind of quickly here on the front page of them. The areas like auditor where you see, any of them you see end of year gain or loss, and the ones you see them in the red, those are because, like the auditor, we do transfers, and we had funds left. And so we didn't transfer as much into them this year here. The USB one, we carried over 533,000. And that is because we had a large add to our insurance budget last year. And we didn't use near all that. So we had a carryover. So there's less of a transfer out of each of the departments this year into it down there. Projected at the bottom summaries, obviously our expense total's $50 million, $676,121.79. Our revenue's $51,097,539.61. Those are our projections. With the weather, and everything, you know, electricity rates and all that. We have a 3.34% IMPA increase this year on top of the 9.5 they gave us last year. So in a 2-year period, we're gotten hit with a large IMPA increase.
Will the tracker factor help us absorb that?
Yes, it will. Over time, it takes, for instance, like the 3.3 this year here that will take effect in our February bill. Then that gets calculated by the IURC in a 3-month period of January, February, and March. And so then that will turn around and go back and be calculated. IURC will give what our tracker rate will be for April, May, and June. Well, then we're always a month behind. So we won't get any of that 3.3 until June billings. And so you're about 6 months behind. So right now we're 6 months behind collecting on the 9.4% increase. The last tally, we're just getting year-end stuff in. Electric, we're going to be $300,000-$400,000 in the red because of the tracker, but over time it will take up for it. The tracker factor increased. I announced at one of the USB meetings, and here in February, your tracker factor on an 800 kilowatt hour usage of electricity, you're going to see about 48-cent increase in your February bill. And so to be February, March, and April bill brings on your new tracker factor that took effect here the first of the year. But yes, Eric, will it make it all up? I don't know about that, but that's what it's supposed to do.
I don't think it ever has,
No,
to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I've seen that for years and years and years. I think it's always behind.
yeah. It'll be behind, and, when we didn't have the tracker factor, because once we had the rate study, which was, and the rate increase 7 years ago, I think we're in our 7th year right now, and that rate study turns around and changes your base rate back to 0 or back to a certain thing and changes your tracker factor back to 0. Well, IMPA didn't have a rate increase or a tremendous one, and that tracker factor, we had negative tracker factors. We were given back for 2 or 3 years. And now, as it goes up, hopefully it goes back down, the IMPA bills and the things like that. As you can see in here, we're going to have a $31 million projected IMPA bill going in for 2024 is what our projected IMPA is in 2024. We're projected, $421,000 in the good for 2024. That will be dictated by a lot of things, the weather and everything else that comes out as the year goes on. So if there is any other questions, I will get you guys, and I'll have Carol, if she could email me all the new email addresses. Once I'm going to say I've started working on what our final numbers were for 2023, and I will send that. Steve, could you open the Excel file that I sent you, or did you even?
I didn't get it, no.
Okay. Did you got it just like this in a PDF then? Yeah. Okay. But you'll get all of this in a PDF, which will be our final 2023 numbers once we get them all compiled and put together. There. So, and if there is any other questions, that comes up, feel free to call or anything else.
Just out of curiosity, I remember about this time last year that it was this year for employee wages. It was going to be performance-based, not just an across-the-board percentage. Is that how you handled that this year?
We went across the board, percentages on everything, and then we added, as you can see in the individual line, we have performance bonuses, which is 1% of the payroll. So we done performance bonuses in each of the departments. And the evaluation sheets are not all totally done for that. It's budgeted. Whether it gets used, that'll be by the department heads and the liaison for each of those departments at determining how that will go. But yes, it's in there in our budget this year here. Any other questions on budgets? 3 little quick updates. The water treatment plant is 99% complete. They got the on-site generation up and going last week some, and so it is real close. There's maybe 1 or 2 items on the punch list. The wastewater treatment plant has maybe 3 things on the punch list, and so it will be getting, to completion out there at the wastewater treatment. The utilities main project for this year here is going to be the force main across town. Clarence, you'll get an invitation on that. There's a meeting Wednesday.
Yeah, I talked to Clarence today.
Okay.
Yeah, I got to talk to you, Todd, about that.
And an engineering firm for probably the last 8 months has been doing flow studies throughout the city with flow meters in the sanitary sewers, storm sewers, trying to check water infiltration into the sewer system. And they got their first meeting here this Wednesday to give some of their initial results back on that. That project is probably going to be, that project was supposed to be in the bond when we redid the wastewater treatment plant. But things came in high and the force main got dropped off of it. That force main will need to be put in across town before any substantial growth goes on the industrial park or I-65 corridor, the 28 I-65 corridor. We are the 200 West lift station. We are at 100% capacity right now. Everything from what we call our TriMass lift station, which is on County Road 0, picks up a few factories, pumps down to the gravity line, which goes into the 200 West lift station. We go back out, we got what we call a Unarco Roan lift station, and that stuff pumps down the south side of State Road 28 up to where John Deere is, and then it gravity flows from there back to the 200 West lift station. The Jefferson lift station shoves up to the Roan lift station. And so that is our main thing. Our projected cost on that is, and it's going to be a guess from a number we had prior, would be $5 to $10 million for us to get across town. We have in our wastewater construction budget, we have about 2.1 million saved to go towards that. I am working with, I've been in contact with the IEDC, which, you've all heard about IEDC with the LEAP project and everything, to get as much help, if not all the additional help we need to get that force main through town. I've been to Indianapolis once, and we'll probably be going back, but we have to have, I believe it's March, we get the final number for the cost. Yes. Burgess and Nyepel is the engineering firm that we hired probably a year ago at this time to do the flow studies and the design work. Burgess and Nyepel turned in initially 8 different designs and plans to get the force main, another lift station, to get it from west through town all the way out to the treatment plant. 5 years ago, when we didn't have enough capacity to take on things, the first thing we did was we started where we needed. We got to be able to treat it. Now we're working, this would be our last phase of being able to go from the 4.5 to the 9 to 10 million gallon a day treatment at the wastewater treatment plant to take on any additional growth. I think Judy, Eric might have been involved back then when we had some housing additions that was wanting to come to town, and we had no capacity. IDEM had put us on notice that there would be no housing addition go in the city of Frankfort. We're off of that notice, because we're not, if we get out west, we have to do something. And that is our main goal. That's what we're working on. It takes a lot of time. They've been 7-8 months done flow studies. They will get us the information. The first meeting since that is taking place Wednesday. And then in March, we hope to have a dollar figure, but the utility board will have to turn around and decide which route we want to take. So there will be, I'd like to say by this fall that there will be construction started on something, and it will be a mess.
Yeah, what, your proposed force main, what would that take our capacity up to on a daily basis? From what to what? What are we right now?
Right now, the treatment plant itself was at 4.5 million, and its refab and update took it to 9.
Okay.
And out at the treatment plant.
And then the force main?
The force main that we have at the 200 West lift station force main, what is that, Todd? About 4 million? Or it's 3 million something, and they do it in. Yeah, the 200.
200 is about
2.5 million.
You're gonna double that?
Yeah, we're gonna have to double that, if not more. And what Burgess and Nyepel is looking at is the collection area of everything that is in the whole industrial park, and as things grow towards the interstate, all comes to that one lift station. And so one of our ideas is we need to have a second route. If something happens to that lift station, we got troubles. And there's been talk about there at John Deere kind of turning and running a gravity feed down 200 West to Armstrong, and then going down Armstrong and hitting the interceptor that's in the bottom of Prairie Creek. And so then we would get to the treatment plant at 2 different ways. But until, the engineers come and give us an idea of what they suggest, that was some things. We want to try to get away from just being tied with one thing. The 200 West lift station has 3 pumps in there, and they alternate off of a SCADA system. One will pump, and the next one pumps. When we get a rain, it goes to capacity. We have a smaller lift station, which is at Suncrest, behind Suncrest, and it needs a lot of work. So yeah, Eric, we would be updating, the capacity on that side would be more than enough to get, so that this ain't being done again in 6 years.
If this starts in the fall, projected starting in the fall, what's the timeline for a finished product? Just curious, and I know you can't be exact.
We were told, we had a project that we had worked on quite heavily, and we were told 1.5 to 2 years to get us something if an industry would have came back, when we were really, and that's when we got really in depth with IEDC, at helping us out with it, because it was going to be needed. So we will keep you updated as we move along with that. Right now, that is our only, and that is our number one priority on the list of the utilities. We've had a lot going on with State Road 28, east and west. We had, the treatment plant, we had the wastewater treatment plant, and the Utility Service Board has 4 or 5 superintendents and a general manager that are wore out at this time because of all the work that we've had going on.
We've been busy.
And so, we're getting some of them things closed up. We got water capacity now, additional water capacity. We've got wastewater capacity at the plant. Now we've just got to get it from there to there. Most of this side of I say this side because Prairie Creek's right here, but, south, whatever, Meadowbrook, is that what that one's called out there? Meadowbrook, that one there, we have a 30-inch sanitary sewer out front there. And, so we can get stuff that way over here. It's what happens out there on that side of it. Frito-Lay they have their own treatment plant. And so, if Frito-Lay didn't have their own treatment plant, yeah. And so, any other questions or anything? Answer, Mary, for you? Okay.
Ken, Fritos, they don't do all their wastewater. They just do their washing and that wastewater.
Right.
Am I
All they
correct on
send to
that?
us is their restrooms out of their facilities.
Yeah, so we still get that.
Right, we
Yeah,
get that,
okay.
which is minor.
But their processing water, they treat
Processing
it
water,
themselves.
they-
Yeah.
They run through their treatment plant, and they have a discharge permit that allows them to,
Send it north.
it actually goes west, down there in front of ConAgra. It runs down Zero, and it dumps in whatever, what's that little creek called? I mean, this creek ain't very wide, and I mean, it takes, it's the ditch, yeah, down into there, and then it heads, it's kind of hard to imagine, but all the stuff out at 28 and 65, all that water goes north. We're north, and which is,
Unusual.
yeah, it's unusual, so.
Toward the Wildcat.
Yeah. It goes down that way there. Once you get just south of town, everything turns around and goes into Sugar Creek watershed, and we head that way. So, okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Kent. Appreciate it. Okay, the interlocal agreement for the Kelly Road Bridge. Do you want to talk to us about that, Alicia?
Sure. So this was the interlocal agreement that I gave to you all in December. For the Kelly Road Bridge, this is the one that the county is putting the new bridge in, and that originally we were going to be able to kind of piggyback off of their 80-20 match, and now it turns out that we can't. And so they had asked whether or not we wanted to put in a pedestrian walkway and fund that, or if we didn't want to do that. I did get in touch with Tom, and he had no problem with any of the changes that I had made to the interlocal agreement. So what I had presented to you last time is the agreement that I would propose we approve if you want to move forward with the project. But we would need to decide. The county asked that we make a decision by this meeting if we wanted to move forward or not.
And that was, what was the cost of that? Does anybody remember?
I think it was
I wanna say
400,000.
400.
400,000.
Yeah.
I can pull up the agreement. I don't have it.
Yeah,
with
it's
me.
400,000.
400.
They won't need the money until,
Yeah, it was 2028. Yeah.
I think it would be short-sighted if we didn't do it, but I also believe this, we probably ought to look at our comprehensive plan and then speed up some sidewalks in that area. Everybody know it's highly traveled by pedestrians. That is the choke point. I mean, I walk it occasionally, and kind of jog across that one. That's a sight,
Yeah.
but
Kent, did you have something?
Kelly Road Bridge you're talking about, is that the one that's just west of Williams?
Yes.
yes.
Between Williams and Alhambra. Yeah, when they first approached us on it, they thought that they would be able to just have us put the 20% match, and then NDOT told them no, that we would have to pay for the full cost of it. So that'd be the 400.
But the county was gonna split that, right?
Well, they were just going to ask us to pay the 20% match because it was going to be put in with that bridge project there. So there would be an 80-20 match. They would have the city pay the 20. Well, then NDOT said, no, it can't work that way.
The proposal that you're looking at today, the county would not be splitting that. The city would be paying for the pedestrian bridge. The benefit is that it could all be incorporated into one project, so we wouldn't be doing it at a later date because the county is designing a bridge as we speak, and so this would be incorporated into that design. Is what
Okay.
the benefit of doing it now is.
So the city's paying for the whole bridge?
The whole pedestrian portion of it, yes.
Okay, okay.
Are we able to commit to it, given that it might be a future council when that happens, or?
We can commit to it. We aren't technically appropriating any funds right now. There is language in the agreement that would allow us to basically get out of it, yeah. But so yes, we can, and then we would have to appropriate the funds at a later date. So a future council could theoretically get out of it. But we're basically just saying at this time we would like to do that. But we would, they are working on the design of that. And so the cost of the bridge itself, I don't think the project is happening until 2028, but I imagine there would be some design costs. If there are portions that we would have to pay, that would probably come sooner. Tom didn't give me a timeline on when those would be, though. So there might be some soft costs that we would have to pay up front, but I don't have that information on when that would be.
Well, I think it'd be short-sighted not to add that, and I would imagine that we're probably looking at even greater cost if we don't do it in conjunction with them, so it makes sense for us to do that. Just, if we don't get it done by the end of 27, though, there's several of us that are here that probably won't be at that time.
Somebody else's problem.
Kick the can down the road.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, and the other thing too is that interlocal agreement that we have right now, we can amend it too and work with the county. So right now we have some language in there about the cost and things like that. And as we get more information, I imagine that that's going to be kind of a living document that both us and the county are going to want to amend as we get more information. Right now, it's just, the county needs something in order to agree to move forward with the design. really.
So real quick question, Don, have you been asked about this?
I've known about it, nobody has asked about it. Is this one or two sides?
Well, that was my question. I don't,
Let me see if I can.
Have they talked to you at all, Jason?
I think we probably have to kind of establish that early on for the design.
I think I've got it in the agreement, which I can pull up real quick.
If it's one side, it probably should be on the south side. That'd be a little bit easier to maneuver then, because you have that house is pretty close on the north side on the.
Yes.
I forget who they said they were working with on that.
Don, is there a sidewalk going down that mesh road? Is there a sidewalk that runs down through there?
No. Kelly?
Down toward where that bridge is?
When, I guess I can proudly say that when I sat on the plan commission many, many years ago, and Rocky Weber put those homes up in the corner, we made him put sidewalks around that corner. He got all riled up about it, but I said, eventually there'll be sidewalks down there. So there are sidewalks around the corner, but it doesn't connect to anything. But they will one day soon.
So Clarence, here was kind of the plan that we were hoping for, was we're going for phase 3,
Yes,
Nash Road,
yes.
even to Cali. If we would get that, that would probably be completed, what did we say, 2027? 2020, I don't know, it might be 2028 by now. But if we could get that done, then maybe
we'll have
someday
sidewalks.
go around the corner and then start down Kelly Road, but it would be from MASH, and that's quite a distance
Yeah.
down. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, you're talking a lot of what ifs and a lot of cost and.
Yeah.
You have some sidewalks periodically on Kelly Road where they were supposed to not get a occupancy permit until the sidewalks are placed when you build a home. And that obviously hasn't been in operation during some of the homes that are being built there, but some have built sidewalks. So you've got some with, some without. And I know that I've spoken with Councilman Beardsley about this, and it would be nice somewhere down the line soon if the council would be able to afford funding like they do the 50/50 project, only this is for people without sidewalks, and have it separate so that we can try to add sidewalks where there aren't any and continue to repair the sidewalks where we do. That would be a really nice project to have also going. And there's just many homes on the northwest side of town without sidewalks, as you have on the southeast side of town. So it's a long range. You just take a bite at a time out of an elephant, and you would do the same on these sidewalks. I know that Kimberly has expressed maybe the potential of a grant somewhere down there for as a neighborhood revitalization grant that she's kind of looking around or kicking around a little bit about. That will help a little bit also. So, you know, it's putting all these things together to try to maneuver through something that hasn't been done for a long, long period of time that now needs to be started to be looked at.
To answer a couple of questions, I don't know which side of the bridge it would be on. It's not in the agreement, probably because it hasn't yet been designed. But the engineering firm is Butler, Fairman, and Seifert. That's doing it, and the not to exceed is $400,000, and it would be 2028, and the payment schedule would be mutually agreed on by the parties. So.
Could you ask them what the difference would be between the sidewalk on one side and both sides for the price?
We can. The only problem is that right now we're at $400,000 with the walking path, bike path that we've currently got planned. So if we did both sides, I assume that would be more. But the other problem is that they really need to have an answer this meeting. So when we met with them, they asked that we get back to them kind of as soon as possible, and they had said that they could wait until the January meeting, but they really couldn't wait anymore because they're pushing their design until we get them an answer.
I think we can trust Don and Jason to work with them, and you'll find something that'll work for us. So we need a motion for this?
What we would need is a motion to approve the interlocal agreement that was presented to you last meeting.
Okay, I imagine you guys probably haven't even seen that yet, have you? You two.
I can email it to you real quick. I apologize. I didn't think about the fact that you guys hadn't seen it, so let me get that to you.
And I apologize, I didn't include it because I wasn't sure what steps were going to be taken tonight.
Carol, do you have the list of email addresses handy? Yep.
What I can say is that it is in our comprehensive plan, the thoroughfare section. And then you merge that with the complete streets legislation that we passed years ago. Basically, what it's saying is anytime you're gonna do these projects, do them in a way that accommodates as many modes of transportation as possible. And this just makes sense. We all know Kelly and Mash are a huge thoroughfare for that corner. So, I mean, I know you guys haven't read it, but
So it's just Isaac and Joe, right, that need it? Because John had it last time.
Right. Yeah, I'm an old guy.
Are either of you able to access your council email on your phones yet?
Yes,
Are you? Okay.
I'll find out.
Okay.
Well, I'm sending it to the email you put on.
Okay.
So. Okay. And then if you have specific questions or if you'd like me to kind of run down what it says, I'm glad to do that also. If that would be the council's pleasure, I can kind of explain it if that would be helpful.
That would be helpful if you don't mind.
Sure, absolutely. So essentially, what this agreement would be is it would be between the county commissioners and the city council. The county is responsible for the repair and the upkeep and replacement of bridges located through the county. Bridge number 115 is the bridge that we're discussing, and it is in need of reconstruction. It's located within the corporate limits of Frankfort, and it's also one that the county is in charge of. BF&S is retained by the county for the replacement of the bridge, and the city would like Bridge 115 to incorporate into the design and construction a pedestrian walking bike path, in addition to the county's original design plan. The city agrees to pay Clinton County the difference in the amount associated between Bridge 115's original construction plan, which does not incorporate the walking path and the bike path, and the new plan, which would incorporate that pedestrian walking path and bike path in an amount not to exceed $400,000. Federal funding has already been approved to assist the county for the reconstruction of the bridge. And so the county and the city agree as follows, that the county will continue the reconstruction project for Bridge 115 with BF&S and incorporate into the design and construction the pedestrian walking path and the bike path on Bridge 115 as the city has requested. Upon the final cost determination, the city will reimburse the county for the additional costs associated with the incorporation of the walking path not to exceed that $400,000. So essentially, we will just reimburse the costs for the extra payment. The payment will not be required until the completion of the project, which is expected to be in 2028, and that will not exceed $400,000. And the payment schedule will be mutually agreed on by the parties at a later time. And that's essentially the entirety of the agreement at this point. We don't have a super lengthy interlocal at this time because we don't have a lot of details about it because we haven't done design at this point and we don't have, a payment schedule or anything because we don't know when that's going to actually be completed because they haven't bid it out or anything like that.
So basically, right now, they just want to know if we're on board.
Right. So the whole purpose of this agreement is so that their engineer incorporates that design to include that pedestrian walking path and bike path. So we're basically just saying, yes, please incorporate that into your design, and we agree that we'll pay the difference, or no, don't do that, is what we're deciding tonight. Does that help?
Yes.
Okay.
For the safety of pedestrians, I really think this bridge is important.
I'll make the motion that we accept that agreement and pass it.
I'll second it.
Roll call, please.
Steve Beardsley,
Aye.
Isaac Chavez,
Aye.
John Large,
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Robert Stevens,
Aye.
Clarence Worthen,
Aye.
Eric Woods.
Aye.
Okay. Mayor, you'll need to sign that. So we'll need to get you a printed copy, and then I will let the county know
Okay.
that we've gone ahead with that. And then for the two of you, I did email that, so you
Yes,
should
I
have a
just got
copy.
it, thank you.
Yep. And sorry about that. I didn't think about the fact that we had new people on the council. So
Alicia, I have a copy of that,
okay,
so I can just have her sign that.
perfect.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be fine. Okay, did you have anything else? No. That's it? Okay, I have one other thing that I wanted to talk to the council about tonight. We are going to be advertising for a building inspector for next year in the salary ordinance, and in the budget, we budgeted, I have it in here somewhere,
48.
49,197. It's really hard to get any interest in that position at that pay. Not a lot of people want to work for that. I'm asking if I could transfer, which that would not take your approval, but I would just want you to be aware of it and ask you if you'd be okay with it. In the 100s, they have $20,000 right now in the building services for part-time, and they're not using any part-time. And if I could move that up to put the salary to $60,000, which would be about $11,000. Plus, there'll be a little bit of extra money in the line item right now for a building inspector.
Isn't that what Bud's doing now?
We no longer have anybody at the city for a building inspector. We don't have a building inspector right now.
Okay, so Bud not doing that anymore. Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Do they have to be certified by the state? Do they have to have a class 1, 2, or 3?
We just asked them to be certified, and I don't know which certifications, and I don't have to.
Year. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
familiar with that.
Yeah.
You know, you might think about maybe getting a younger person and that's savvy on building and this and that. And I'm not talking about real young, but I'm talking about, and tell them they have to be certified within a year.
Mhm.
They can sign a contract, do whatever you have to do.
It's in the job description now, and I think it's less than a year. I want to say it's 6 months. Does anybody remember what it is? I think it's 6 months. 6 months, they have to have a certification.
Okay. Is that enough time for somebody to really learn everything? Okay, yeah. Is that enough time, 6 months, for somebody coming in that has knowledge? Yes. Okay, fine.
To address your question, Mayor, I think, yes, it's important that we have a competitive wage for such an important position. And I would like for us to comply with your request, moving the 20,000 into that area. Is this needing a form of a motion?
We would really only need to move, right now it's at 49.1, so I would like to bring it up to 60,000, so 11,000.
11,000 out of the 20, yeah, okay,
11,000, something in there that they would have to
okay.
move to see if we could.
What we need,
The only thing we would have to do is amend the salary ordinance, because that's it
Yes.
within the 100, so we don't have to do a transfer. It wouldn't be an additional, it's the same amount of money. It would just be an.
what would, and any associated benefit costs also? We need to consider any perf or,
You know, it's hard to say, like on the health insurance. I don't know how tight we are on the perf and the FICA. We'll have a little bit of that left too, because that position's not being filled now. It'll probably take us a month to fill that position.
I understand.
I
Something
think
we can
maybe-
remedy later.
Yeah,
if
that's
need
what
be.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna say. Towards the end of the year, if we come across where we're gonna be a little bit short in FICA or perf, we could do something.
I'd like to make the motion then that we move forward with allowing the transfer of $11,000 from building services part-time into the wage of building inspector.
I'll second that.
Roll call, please.
Steve Beardsley.
Aye.
Isaac Chavez.
Aye.
John Large.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Robert Stevens.
Aye.
Clarence Worthen.
Aye.
Eric Woods.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. It's just really hard right now to get someone with what we need for that salary.
That's an important position.
Yeah, it's a very important position. And here a while back, we changed that to where they are considered a department head. The building inspector is, they're on their own. They share a budget under building services with our planning and housing director. And they share also their administrative staff. But they're each one, like the supervisor or the building inspector would be themselves, and the planning would be on its own. So that's a little more responsibility to that building inspector as well, I feel like, so. Okay, thank you so much, I appreciate it. Does anyone have anything else tonight? Oh, is there a second one of those?
A second error.
7 of them.
Who was the second?
Michigan's up 7-0. That's good. Big 10, baby.
They're both Big Ten. Washington's gonna